Alright, so I've got a lot of people in this group that are new to the group and don't know even what a smart meter is. So I just figured I'd make a quick video and cover some of the basics. A lot of people have been having questions lately. When I bought my house about a year and a half ago, I didn't know much more than smart meters are bad. So I didn't think to look before we bought the house. Soon after, I decided to look and realized that we had a smart meter. So that's where all this began. That's where I started digging into this, and I fought my power company and won. It wasn't a quick, easy battle, but I stuck with it every day and bugged them until I got what I wanted. Now I have an analog meter back on my house, and I'm probably the only one in this entire city. Let me tell you, they're on the kids' schools, they're in the middle of the streets on the signs, they're on the fast food joints, they're everywhere. The apartment buildings around here have like 8 of them on one wall. It's horrible. But I don't. I've got an analog, and there's steps that you have to do in order to get that off. Every state is going to be different. If you're in another country, it could be all different. I have no idea how to help you if you're in another country. But I can tell you what worked for me. I live in a small town. My building for my energy company is right down the road. So that's where I started. I went in there, let them know that I had done some research and that I didn't want these smart meters anymore. So what happened is they charged me like $100 and I think it was like $90 some, like $98, something like that. And they came out here and they removed the AMI technology, which stands for Advanced Metering Infrastructure, which means it's still a smart meter, which I didn't know, but they just removed the communication technology. So it still does everything a smart meter does, it just doesn't communicate back to them. They have to come pull the data. So I was happy. I thought I won. Thinking, hey, I'm getting this smart meter removed. I paid a fee, signed a paper saying that they weren't liable for any damages, blah, blah, blah. It was basically to cover their own ass. So then I came home and I started doing more research. And I figured out that they call it an opt-out meter. I figured out that opt-out meter is no different than the smart meter. It just doesn't transmit information to them. They have to come get it. So I was pissed. I paid all that money for nothing. Thought I was safe. We weren't. So I dug in again. Had to get to the bottom of all this, how it works, meters to test it myself, which are not cheap, all kinds of stuff. So basically what I did is, at that point, I called Rock Energy back. Again, it's a small company, so I talked to the same guy. His name's Mike, and I started telling him, hey, this is what I'm learning, this is what I just read, this is what safety studies have been, third-party studies have been done, and he basically told me it doesn't matter what I think. I can think whatever I want, and that it's a safe technology, and that the analog meter that I was asking for was 70-year-old junk technology, and whenever they see them, they pull them off the house and they throw them away, is what he told me. Well, after I got off the phone with them, I did a couple more hours of research, and come to find out, they don't throw them away. They pull them off, and they send them into a company. That company refurbishes them and then sells them online, and I can buy one from them for $30. So there's lots of things that we need to cover here now. What I did was contact the governor's office and let them know that my energy company will not work with me and that they refuse to give me what I want. I've asked my company for their corporate number. They claim that there is no corporate office and that they don't have a corporate number. I asked to speak with the highest person up in the company, and every time that was the same Mike guy who was unwilling to help me. So I asked who regulates them, and he told me that nobody regulates them. So here I am, not happy with my provider, my services that I'm paying for, and they have no corporate office to complain to, and supposedly no one's regulating them. So this is why I was pissed off. I called the governor's office and I explained this to them. They sent me over to the ICC where I filled out an informal complaint online. Now apparently when you fill out the informal complaint, they have 14 days to do something about it, or it goes before a judge. I didn't know this, and when I filed my complaint, it didn't take that long. Within 2 days, I got an email that said basically it was out of their jurisdiction and that they couldn't do anything for me and that they apologized. So at that point, I was stressed out. You know, I felt like I lost. I didn't know what to do. I called the governor's office back, and the person that answers the phone, I explained my frustrations to them. That person put me on hold for a second and came back and told me there is no corporate office to the company, and that they are regulated. They just aren't regulated by the ICC. Because I live in a small town and my company is small, my company is regulated by 6 people that are appointed by my city officials. So I got a phone number for them, and I gave them a call. I spoke with some lady there, and she basically told me the same thing, that she didn't have any power or control over my company, but she was willing to call my company and voice my concerns for me. So I told her, I brought her up to speed with how I felt about the smart meters and what I knew about them, and she suggested that she could call and ask them to remove the smart meter off of the house and put it out in the middle of the yard or in the back of the yard somewhere. And I told her, no, that's completely unacceptable. That's no different. And here's the reason why. A smart meter emits radiation right around the local area where the smart meter is when it's pulsing. So you can get a guard, right? A lot of people have asked, do these guards work? Yes, they do. They block out 98% of the radiation around the local area. So we could get an aluminum mesh net that goes over this and covers this, right? And now that's going to block out 98% of the radiation around the area, right? But the problem with that is the way the smart meters work is they gather data from everything in your house. So the way they do that is it pulses up to 14,000 times per day. And when it pulses, it's sending a pulse through every single electrical wire that runs through your house. And a lot of you, everyone, has wires that run through the wall that you don't even think about that are there. They run from your outlets to your lights to your switches. They're all throughout your walls, through your ceilings, through your floors. They're everywhere. Now, when your smart meter pulses 14,000 times a day, it pulses through every single line. And when it pulses through those lines, it creates an EMF field. And if you are in that EMF field, it is damaging to your nerves. It's nerve damaging. It causes numerous different problems. So there's tons of studies out there. You know, these power companies are just fighting it. They don't care. So finally, I called that phone number. She said that she would call and voice my concerns for me. I didn't have a lot of hopes there. You know, I had already voiced my concerns to them, and she told me that she didn't have any power or control over them, but she would voice my concerns for me. So I thanked her, and I hung up, and I put it down for the day. I gave it a break. I was overwhelmed, thinking nothing was going to happen. 20 minutes later, I got a phone call from the same guy, Mike, at my Rock Energy company that I had talked to numerous times. And he told me that I could believe whatever I believed. But so he called me, and he said ever since the last time I had called him and the CEO, Shane, had been searching for an analog meter for me, and they found one. So get this. He tells me that it could take a little while because they had to figure out, their biggest struggle was they had to figure out which manufacturer they were going to buy this analog meter from. And that could take the longest. Once they figured out who they were going to buy the meter from and it got to them, they would send it out and have it tested. And then once it got back from testing, they could come put it on my house. But he told me, don't worry, the testing will only take a few days. 8 o'clock the next morning, I have a ring on my doorbell. I answer the door, and it's the Rock Energy install guys. And I said, how can I help you? He said, we're here to install your meter. And I said, oh, it got back from testing already, huh? And he said, no, we just had one in the back of the truck. So they lie. All right, they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about your family's health. They don't care if it's damaging your animals or your plants or your family. They don't care. All right, it's all about money. It's all about collecting data. They can see what model TV you have. They can see that you turned it on at 5:30 and watched it till 5:45. They can see what type of dishwasher you're running, how long you used it. They're building power profiles on people. All right. Now, is your local company looking at this data? Probably not. They sell it to a third-party company. All right. So we have no idea where this information is going. We have no idea why this information is being sold or what it's being used for. So in my informal complaint to the ICC, I stated that it's a wiretap without a warrant, and that's illegal. You can't do that. The problem is it's implied consent. No one is saying anything. No one is telling them that they refuse, that they don't want this. All right? So they're getting away with it. It's called implied consent. You said nothing, you are okay with it. You got to speak out. You got to let them know. And it's not going to be easy. They've made this system so that they can keep operating. They know it's unsafe. You don't design something and sell it all across the entire world and have no idea that it has negative health impacts on people. That's just not how things work. They know what's going on. It's all about money. You got to be willing to fight them. You got to be willing to not give up. All right? These people are millionaires. I beat them. I got the analog meter on my house. I do pay $5 extra per month to have a meter reader come read my meter, which to me, I think that would be considered extortion. In the beginning, we all had analog meters. We all had meter readers that would come around once a month or once every 3 months to read our meters, and that was included in our bill. Now they come up with the smart meter technology, and they install them everywhere. They fire all the meter readers, saving themselves millions of dollars, right? And now, if you don't want a smart meter and you require a meter reader, they're going to charge you $5 extra a month. Some places I've been hearing as much as $50 extra a month. It's insane. That's extortion. So I've been thinking about filing a small claims lawsuit against them for this extra charge per month. I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to more people, see how much of a leg I have to stand on there. But shielding does exist. All right, they sell paint that has lead in it that will stop the signals from coming through. Lead is toxic. I'm not going to recommend that one. If you live in an apartment and you cannot fight the company because it's not your building, not your meter, not your account, you can get one of those smart meter shields and put that over. That's going to stop the radiation. If you live in an apartment building and let's say they're on the opposite side of your bedroom wall and there's nothing you can do about it, they sell shielding material. It's not cheap, but they do sell it, and you can line the material up against the wall where your bed's at, you know, so you can protect yourself while you sleep. Or, you know, you can put it up against the wall, like this bedroom wall right here. You know, this is on my bedroom wall right here. So on the inside of the bedroom, I could put a piece of shielding material there. There's numerous things that you can do. Solutions exist. You got to be willing to fight them. That's it. Plain and simple. It's all about money. It's all about control. It's all about knowledge. They want to know what you're doing. Why, I don't know. Alright, but if you have any questions, shoot me a message. I can try to help you follow my footsteps. More videos to come. I do have an acoustimeter that I bought, but that deals more with Wi-Fi signals, cell phone signals, that type of thing. I'm still working on saving up money to get another meter that can give you a visual on just exactly how dangerous these smart meters are. Stay tuned. More to come. Let me know if you have any questions. I can make more videos.